Hey guys, this is my review for Room 237, and the majority of you are probably thinking, what the hell is that? Well, it's a documentary that is basically studying all of the hidden messages and the hidden meanings in Stanley Kubrick's famous horror film, The Shining. And I'm really into this because I love The Shining, I love Stanley Kubrick. He's easily one of my favorite directors of all time. And I've done a bit of research on my own about a lot of the hidden meanings and the subliminal messages in the movie. Not to the degree that these people did who made this movie, but enough to really be into it. And I really like this movie. I would only recommend it, I'll say right off the bat, I would only recommend this movie if you are a really big Stanley Kubrick film fan, if you're a huge movie fan, and if you love The Shining. Because if you've never seen The Shining or you don't know anything about Stanley Kubrick, you're not going to like this movie because it goes into extreme detail on the film, and there are major spoilers in it. So it's basically dissecting the movie, picking it apart, and discovering what it all means in the big scheme of things. I found that really interesting, and I think, it says the movie is a documentary, but I would consider it more a film essay. And what I mean by that is you don't see any talking heads in the movie. Basically, all you hear are the voices. It's basically voiceover commentary by all the different people who studied the movie, and this is basically filmmakers, historians, critics, whatever. I'm not exactly sure who they are, but and they all talk about the movie, and basically you're seeing all kinds of different movie clips throughout the entire documentary. It's all just movie clips. Most of them come from Stanley Kubrick films, but then there are others, and a lot of stock footage. So voiceover and stock footage in movies is basically what you're seeing here. And that might sound really boring, but the concept behind it to me is really, really fascinating. So you might be thinking, these are just a bunch of nerds who have way too much time on their hands to look at this movie in all the little minute details. And to an extent, you may be correct, but I think there's something more profound going on here. To me, this film is about how we study art subjectively and how little hidden meanings and things like that can affect a culture overall through entertainment. And in this movie, it goes from everything to the blueprints of the Overlook Hotel and the architecture of it and how it doesn't match up with the way the scenes are shot in the hotel. And it also goes through scene structure, it goes through even continuity errors. You see, there are certain props that pop up here and there. The typewriter changes colors that Jack Nicholson is typing on. And whether or not that stuff was intentional, a lot of these answers we will never know. And there's another thing that you see, and it's more kind of serious metaphors, and these are my favorites. The people in this movie link a lot of the metaphors in The Shining to the Apollo 11 moon landing, the Indian massacres when America was discovered, and even the Holocaust. So you're seeing all of these different tragedies and things that have reverberated through our culture, and they're reflected in a very accessible Hollywood story. And that to me is very profound. That is one of the things that I find most fascinating about how people take in entertainment, whether it's a painting or a piece of music, a book, a movie, whatever it is. That's something that's really interesting. And again, once an artist has finished their work, they have certain intents, but once the audience has it, they're going to make of it whatever they will. They're going to interpret it, and it is up to them. It's no longer in the artist's hands. And the same goes for this. We don't know whether Stanley Kubrick really wanted these things to be intentional, and we'll never know. But the documentary really analyzes this in a very profound way. And it studies, again, the way that we look at different stories and the way we look at narrative. Because in this movie, you've got a family, you've got Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, and their child. And with these three characters, you see the way that America, or not just America, but the world in general, all of these different conflicts we've had, the mistakes, and how we keep repeating them over and over again, those are kind of the hidden messages in The Shining. And a lot of people who, see it automatically are going to get wrapped up in the story, and they're not going to think about that, but it's affecting you on a subconscious level. And one person in the documentary said that something along the lines of this, but if you have an article on a single person who was, say, in a massacre or something, or a family, you're going to be really affected by them because you know their backstory and you can connect to them, rather than if you just see a statistic. Because even though that should be very shocking and hard to take, we like to feel sympathy for single individual characters. And that's what movies are about. We like seeing shades of ourselves up on the screen, different versions of ourselves that we can relate to. And that's just really cool. This whole movie documentary is like a lecture almost, a movie lecture. And if you're really a big nerd like me, you're going to love that. But again, don't see it if you're not a huge film nerd. But I really liked it, and I don't know where it's playing because I got it on Apple TV. But if you can check it out in a theater near you, please do. Thanks for listening. You can follow me on Twitter. The link is below, and I'll see you all next time.